morning, everyone, and welcome to Optimus Fantasy Football. It is week 4, and it is already underway, Lou. We've got action going on right now in Dublin, Ireland. And I kind of use the term action lightly unless you kind of like sloppy football, I guess.
I mean, things are happening. Here we are. It's not fantasy things.
Well, DK Metcalf, that long touchdown bumped me up a tier in a couple DFS matchups. I'm actually making money this morning.
Ooh.
I know, I'll take it. I know, I'm happy. I submitted 75 lineups this weekend. They're all in 5-cent contests. So I don't have a lot on the line, but hey, you never know, right? It could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see.
Yeah, let's pay that mortgage today.
Yeah, right. That would be great. But we want to help you pay your mortgage if that's something you need to do from your fantasy winnings. And that is why we are here, folks. Start, sit, and all of the information you need to set your lineups this morning and make the right choices so that you can win those matchups against your brother-in-law, that annoying-ass core worker, like just right down the hall from you. You don't want to get crap from them when you get into work on Monday, right? Like, you want to have this locked down. So let's lock that down for you. Let's go through some early news here. Oh, we actually have our first question, so we'll get to this first. That is our priority this morning. We've got DP Firefighter 1526 over on Twitch, Lou. He wants to know, do I start Josh Allen versus the Saints in what could be a blowout and a run game by the second half, or start CJ Stroud versus Tennessee at home? Where do you sit on this one?
Yeah, I like where his head's at. Like I've said a couple times this week, this is the thing with Josh Allen and the Bills, right? I still stick with Josh Allen. Like there's going to be some early volume, that sort of thing. He still has that get the rushing touchdown or two even, because he is their best goal line back. And Stroud, just that Houston offense, just there is something not right there, man. I just can't get behind starting a CJ Stroud over a Josh Allen, even if it ends up being right. I just can't bring myself to do it or recommend it.
Well, this was something that you and I actually did talk about earlier in the week, and I've had a couple of conversations with people about this specific situation, whether or not to start Josh Allen, what we should be doing about that. Here's the thing. Even if they go to a run game for most of the second half, Josh Allen's going to get his in the first half. And don't forget that Josh Allen's a part of that running game. So you could see a lot of designed runs for Allen in the second half. Maybe he gets some goal line work. There's no reason to bench Allen, but I get the thought, right? It does make sense. We've got this one from Aaron Hudson over on YouTube, Lou. Full PPR, start one, flex one. Here's the group. Tet McMillan, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Woody Marks, Bashal Tootin. He lost Lamb, and Hawkinson is off to a great start for him this morning. Ha, ha, ha.
Great start.
Right. So start one, flex one. Which way are you going with these players here?
I'm rolling with Adams and Tet here. I think Moore and Mooney and Moore, kind of in whatever order you prefer, are the next up. But I don't have them close to the tier that Tet and Adams are. So I think you roll those two, kind of some rougher type matchups for both, especially with Christian Gonzalez active. But I still think they're your best options by a decent margin.
Yep. No, I 100% agree. I'm definitely going Tet and Adams. I like what they're doing with Devontae Adams in this offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there were people who were concerned. He's getting older. We don't know how this is going to go, but him and Puka are nice compliments to each other for Stafford. So I'm just on team start Stafford every week. Now, CeeDee Lamb, we've already been asked about it. He is out this week with a high ankle sprain, and we don't know how much longer he is going to be out. What are we doing with Lamb, especially when it comes to some of these Dallas guys? Pickens, Jake Ferguson has already been kind of a target hog. Now with no CeeDee Lamb, could go even higher. Where are you ranking these players, Pickens, Ferguson, right now without CeeDee Lamb?
It's a bit more matchup based. Like Green Bay, with Dallas having Green Bay this week, I'm out on basically all Cowboys unless I absolutely have to start them. Like I have nobody else. Sure. I've got basically everybody outside of flex range, even including Pickens. I think Ferguson could see a bit more just because he's going to find those soft spots in the zone and be that dump off type of guy for Dak. But I'm not interested in starting any of them. As far as what to do with CeeDee Lamb, it really depends on where you are as a team. If you're staring down 0-3. The 1 and 2, I wouldn't panic, but 0-3 is a problem that you've got to solve, right? So if you've got to spin him for guys that you can plug into your lineup now, a high-end wide receiver 1/2 type, and a startable running back or tight end, I get it, and I'm not against it, especially like you said, Jerry's playing Jerry games again there in Dallas. We don't know how long CeeDee Lamb's going to be out because Jerry is the worst. So
Right.
if you got to move on from him in that situation, I understand. But if you're a 2-1, 3-0 team, I wouldn't move off him. I mean, Lamb, he lit up a great Philadelphia secondary and defense week 1 before getting hurt. So if you can hold on to him, you kind of gotta.
Yeah, he had 24 targets through his first 2 games before he got hurt. You've got to hold on to him because once he does come back, he's just going to step right back into that heavy role. Now, I will say, though, Lou, I am interested in Jake Ferguson. He's got 26 targets his last 2 games, 12 against the Giants, 14 against Chicago. He had a 21-point game last week. And I know it's Chicago, and I understand that, but I don't see this volume slowing down even against a good defense. And against Green Bay, I feel like they are going to have to throw the ball. I don't think they can run Javonte Williams the way that they've been running Javonte Williams against this defense, especially with Micah Parsons. I think this is a big week for Jake Ferguson. I'm excited to start him. But now I want to get back to this. We've got Aaron Hudson. He wants to know, Devontae Adams and Ted McMillan are both listed as questionable. They're expected to play, but if Adams doesn't play out of this list here, we'll go back to it. Who are you going with, Lou, if he's not an option? Is it DJ Moore or is it Darnell Mooney?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I have seen, and they are 100% expecting Adams to play, so I wouldn't worry about that. With that said, I do have DJ Moore a little bit higher than Darnell Mooney. I do have him in the same tier, so that for me means if your gut tells you strongly, go with this one over the other one. I'm not going to argue with you or anything like that. So I think you can confidently still leave Adams in your lineup. And if you feel the need to pivot, go with Moore.
Yep, I'm with you. I would rather have Mooney than Moore, but I mean, it's kind of a toss. I suppose it is just kind of a toss up. We've got Caden on YouTube wants to know, should he start Trey Tucker or Jalen Waddle? We'll assume PPR here. I'm probably going to go Trey Tucker because I don't trust Miami whatsoever.
I don't trust Miami. I do have Waddle ranked higher, and I don't feel great about. I don't feel great about it. I can't feel great about Trey Tucker either. I kind of feel like this is a go with your gut situation between 2 kind of rougher options. Give me Waddle in. I mean, the Jets are bad. They just are.
Yeah.
I understand that Chicago's defense is bad too. But give me Waddle because I think he's a better wide receiver, even if he is in a terrible offense.
Yes. I mean, for me, Trey Tucker has the better quarterback. So yeah, this is for me, again, this is another one of those things that's kind of a toss up. You can go one or the other. One's obviously going to be the wrong call, but we just don't know which one yet. They're kind of in the same tier-ish for me anyway. So mine would be Trey Tucker. Lou's going with Jalen Waddle. Caden, good luck this weekend. Excuse me, the dry Colorado air. Now, more injury fun. Jayden Daniels, Terry McLaurin are both ruled out. Lou, are we worried that this is going to be an ongoing thing here? This is 2 weeks now without Jayden Daniels. Terry McLaurin has just not played well, and now he's out. What are your concerns moving forward with this Washington offense, and how are you pivoting around this right now?
I mean, Terry McLaurin, this is was kind of the danger of him holding out as long as he did, right? Like we see time and time again, these especially wide receivers who hold out deep into training camp. Like I think McLaurin came back 13 days before game 1, which was right on the line. I think I'd set my personal thing at 2 weeks before. So that was right on the line of, is this enough time? And he's kind of shown so far that no, it's not. He didn't have that practice callus built up. Daniels, I'm a little less worried about injury wise, simply because, I mean, sometimes stuff happens. Even the most safe quarterbacks get injured. I bring you Joe Burrow. And he genuinely did seem relatively close to being able to go this week, and the doctors just said no, give it another week. Which, like, okay, I can't ding him for that. I'm more concerned about the state of the offense and the scheme not being up to par in what it was last year. Like, this is a thing with Cliff Kingsbury where he does really well year one, sets the world on fire. He did it in Arizona. He did it in each of his college stops. And then year 2 and 3, more and more production gets lost as people figure out, oh, this is really basic, and all we have to do is stop this thing and this one other thing, and they can't move the ball. And that's kind of what we've seen when everything was right with the Washington offense the first couple weeks too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I'm really heavily invested in him. I'm starting a lot of Marcus Mariota this week, which could be
Mariota's a good start.
I do too. It could be worse. I'm not being forced to start Jake Browning too many places. I was smart, got Mariota, and I don't think he's not bad. He's a similar type player to Jayden Daniels, albeit not as talented. Same draft capital though, which is crazy to think about Marcus Mariota being the number 2 overall pick in a draft, isn't it?
Man, it really
I
is.
know. I'll tell you what, and I'll say this, and it doesn't matter now, but when he was coming out of Oregon, I didn't see it. I couldn't understand the excitement of it. It's not a pro-style offense, not a pro-style quarterback. I don't know how you think he's going to even remotely succeed in this league, and, well, here we are.
I hear you, and then at the same time, that rookie year in Tennessee, he wasn't good as far as, like, eye test good, but he was productive, like, just really productive for fantasy. And I remember it's my home league dynasty startup, like Jameis Winston, tail end of round 1. And I followed up with Marcus Mariota, beginning of round 2. And man, wild days, man. Wild
days. Hey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a first-round rookie pick once upon a time. We all make mistakes, right? It's inevitable.
Right? Not just a first-round rookie pick, but a high first-round rookie pick.
High first.
Kansas City.
I didn't buy it then, but that's neither here nor there. Good injury news. Brock Purdy is back in San Francisco. What does this mean to you, Lou? Are you excited about this for Ricky Pearsall, Christian McCaffrey? That's really all that matters in this offense right now. I don't believe we're getting Juwan Jennings today. We're getting Juwan Jennings today. We are getting Juwan Jennings today. So
he is expected to play as well. So.
Are you more excited about these guys than you were last week now that Purdy's back, or is there some reservation because it's his first week back from injury? He's Brock Purdy.
That's a good question. I don't typically like to start players week 1 back from injury. And I do have Purdy a little bit lower this week. He's outside of QB1 range for me. QB 16. And most of that, honestly, is because the Jacksonville defense has been surprisingly solid this year. Not great, Houston's offense has issues, and they still limited Houston to 10 points. Like, this is a very decent defense this year, where it has not been the last several years. So that's more about that ranking, in addition to coming back from that week, that injury. I do like it for Pearsall, for McCaffrey, for Jennings. Mac Jones, as you said, he would, put up solid numbers with them and help them put up solid numbers. And you could clearly see in each of the games where he was deficient from Purdy. And that's nothing against Jones. He did the best with what he could. I think, if anything, it means more for Pearsall than it does CMC as far as in terms of good things. Partly because I don't think there's much room for CMC to improve based on what he's done so far.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't, because what I saw, I think he'd be wide receiver 2 if you took away all of his rushing stats this season, something like that. He's just Christian McCaffrey.
Wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey's Christian McCaffrey this year, and it doesn't really matter. And again, I'm not starting Brock Purdy this week unless I absolutely don't have a choice, which, I mean, if we're being honest, you probably don't have a choice if you've got Brock Purdy, so you're starting him. Tempered expectations at this point. We've got another question in here, Lou, I want to get to. It's from Twitch. Trevin FR Good God, these Sunday mornings. Start three here, Lou. Tyreek Hill, Quentin Johnston, A.J. Brown, Rome Odunze. Which three are you going with out of this group?
Yeah, so there's two auto starts in this for me. That's Rome Odunze, A.J. Brown, both top 10 wide receivers. Odunze is a start every week. I don't care about the matchup. He is in your lineup no matter what. A.J. Brown, I have faith that last week was the beginning of getting right for the Philadelphia offense, passing offense, and A.J. Brown. So again, have him locked in, top 10 wide receiver. I've got Tyreek Hill and Quentin Johnston back-to-back in my rankings, so that's where my kind of agita comes with this. I do have Tyreek Hill one spot ahead of Quentin Johnston. I don't have any problem if someone wants to start Johnston over Hill because he's got the better quarterback, and I think that's valid. It's just the Miami offense. They kind of figured out, they remembered who they are last week, and oh, right, our passing offense needs to go through Tyreek for it to be anything. So I think if you start Brown and Odunze, you're off to a good start, and then you just kind of flip your coin on the other two and hope you pick the right one.
Yeah, I've got Tyreek Hill shockingly 9 spots ahead of Quentin Johnston this week. So I would go Tyreek Hill here, but I'm Odunze and A.J. Brown, again, those are auto starts for me as well. We've got Frosty over on YouTube wants to know Goff or Fields rest of season, 4-point touchdowns. I might lean Fields because of the rushing upside. If it's only 4-point passing touchdowns, he adds some of those 6-point rushing touchdowns that Jared Goff isn't going to get.
This is tough. Tougher than I want it to be.
Yeah.
I made the analogy earlier this week of Justin Fields is Gabe Davis, but for quarterbacks, and that he's going to blow up on your bench, and then he's going to give you duds in your lineup, because that's just the type of quarterback he is, where he's just that extreme roller coaster, up and down and up and down. Goff is going to be Goff literally every single week. He had kind of a down week last week against Cleveland because everybody's going to have a down week against Cleveland. He's probably going to have some rougher matchups against Green Bay, like we saw once already earlier this season. And 2 of those 3 matchups are already behind him. So give me Goff in that you're going to feel better about starting him every week versus the Fields roller coaster. If it's a best ball, my answer is Fields, and I don't have a problem with it. But in a managed league where you're choosing that start every week, you kind of got to go Goff.
I don't disagree. I mean, if you're shooting for the fences and there's a week where you need like a boom, maybe that's when you start Justin Fields. We've got another one from Poke Varsity over on YouTube, Lou. Need a wide receiver 2 and a flex from this group. We've got Cortland Sutton, Ladd McConkey, Jacoby Myers, and J.K. Dobbins. Who are you going with here?
All right, this is a good group. I think this is a lot of good options, and that even if you make the wrong decision, it's still going to treat you well. So good game there.
Yep.
I've got Sutton as that wide receiver 2. The Troy Franklin week, I get it, was scary, and we saw things snap back to and normalize week 3. Sutton being that target leader, target hog, red zone leader, like he's apple of Bo Nix's eye, rightfully so. So I do have him. I do have Dobbins as a fringe RB1 this week. And again, both players, I don't like starting 2 players from the same team. It does raise your floor, however, because you figure if you're getting scores, they're going to be coming through one of those 2 players. Yeah. And that Cincy defense is so bad. Like, we've got a couple of defenses that you just want to target as much as you can, and Cincinnati is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I'm with you here. This is a get-right game for Denver. They need these guys to have big games. I worry about Ladd McConkey. There's so much competition there right now. Not that he's a bad receiver, but that offense isn't as condensed as it was last season. It's so much more spread out. And Jacoby Myers, I love him, and I'm starting him a lot of places. But if I have a choice, I'm going Sutton over him as a wide receiver too, and I'm going Dobbins over him in a flex. So we're in agreement here. We've got another one here from Carly Manger over on YouTube. What's up, Carly? Good morning.
Our girl Carly.
Yeah, she is awesome. She is a part of Optimus, guys. She runs the Optimus News Desk account, which you should definitely be following on Blue Sky. all of the breaking news, and she's quick. Like, she beats everyone else over there. So if you're looking for NFL news, make sure you're following us over there. How are we feeling about T. Higgins this week, Lou?
Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic. I've got him as a mid-range wide receiver 3. A lot of that has to do with where Patrick Surtain lines up. Like, is he going to be more primarily Chase? Is he going to be more versus Higgins? How does the Cincinnati offense look this week compared to last week, where they were actually in that game for a decent portion of it until everybody and their mother decided to start fumbling the ball and losing those fumbles to Minnesota, and just the wheels came off from there. So I don't feel bad about T. Higgins, but I also don't feel great about it.
I have him as a fringe wide receiver 3 this week because of the matchup. And I think that Denver needs a big blowout win. And Peyton knows it, and Vance Joseph knows it, and this defense is going to come hard at an offense that's very vulnerable. That makes me nervous with T. Higgins, so I'm kind of off of him this week. But moving forward, I'm okay with T. Higgins down the road. He benefited greatly from Browning last year. It hasn't materialized through 2 games yet, but it will. We'll get there to where he's starting to get targets. Browning's going to get more comfortable because he has no choice. He's got to settle in at some point to this offense. He is the guy here for the next 3 months. So I'm not worried long term. This week I have zero interest. Another one from Carly Lou. Jerry Jeudy or Elic Aomanor this week. She needs upside. I'm going Aomanor.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know if Higgins is in the same league as these other two. I do have Higgins above both Jeudy and Aomanor. Mm-hmm. But if those are the 2 options, give me the Tennessee passing game because they can pass the ball over anyone in the Cleveland passing game who oof.
Yes. I'm 16 spots ahead of consensus on Elic this week. I've got him at wide receiver 41. But I'm okay with that. I kind of don't understand why he's being ranked so far back. I understand he's a rookie in a bad offense, but also he's kind of their quarterback's favorite wide receiver. So
it's Houston.
And it's Houston. I like Elic this week. I like Elic a lot this week.
If I'm Houston, number one, I don't trust their Tennessee's offensive line to hold up against that destructive Houston front line. Like, I'm worried for Cam Ward this week. And I think that's what I'm more concerned about with Aomanor than I am his performance necessarily.
Sure.
And then you add Stingley onto that as well, who's expected to play. If I'm Houston, I'm looking at Aomanor and Ridley, and I kind of don't care about Ridley at this point. Like, if he beats me, he beats me, and yeah, good luck. Dude can't catch the ball this year. Aomanor is the only guy, like you said, that Cam Ward trusts, rightfully so. So take him away.
I don't know that they will to an extent, but he's still going to get targeted. And I feel like he'll at least score a touchdown this week. So we've got another one from Poke Varsity. Have the Colts, but they play the Rams. Are the Pats D a good stream this week? He has the Colts, but they're playing the Rams. I wouldn't be excited about playing the Colts against the Rams. But the Pats defense, it's against Carolina, but then a Carolina team that put 30 up on Atlanta. I'm not saying they're going to do that to New England. Maybe they're not the Patsy we all thought they were for DST units in fantasy.
Yeah, I'd probably roll with the Pats here. Christian Gonzalez is back. If he can take away Tet, that Carolina offense doesn't really have a whole lot of other answers. And New England's defense can match up relatively well. Like, their defensive line and linebacking core is decent. Yeah, and I get the whole not wanting to play the Colts against the Rams. That does not look like a fun time for the Colts defense.
No, I talked about it on my show with Casey earlier in the week. This is my favorite game of the week, Colts-Rams. It's what I'm most looking forward to because I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game, which for team defenses, not good. Not good at all. Yeah. Chuba and Tet have also been dealing with injuries on that Carolina offense, which is a very fair point. Are you interested in Chuba Hubbard starting him this week? Are you firing him up?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got he's just outside of RB1 range for me, so outside of the top 12, but not by much. Like he's kind of squarely in that area where James Conner and David Montgomery have been residing for me the last couple years, where they are underappreciated and they're generally going to outperform expectations. The fact that Hubbard is involved in the passing game as much as he is, he's going to get that 3, 4, 5, 6 receptions, especially if the game gets out of hand. In addition to his lion's share of the rushing work as well. I like Rico Dowdle as well, and I think he makes a good kind of handcuff backup if you need a dart throw running back this week. I think Rico Dowdle is a decent one, but I do like Chuba Hubbard overall.
I was going to ask you about Rico Dowdle next. 10 carries last week. I mean, 10 carries for 30 yards. He had a touchdown. Is this something that you think? Do you think he's going to work his way into this offense a little bit more over the next coming weeks? I mean,
I think part of that was it was 30-0, and so they had the space to play with. If you're the Panthers and you're seeing and you're in the dogfights more and more, week in, week out the way they are, I don't really want to roll out Rico Dowdle. I don't necessarily think he's going to get more work. But I do think that what we saw last week is kind of Carolina's ideal fit for them, where they are bringing in Rico Dowdle to take some of the volume off of Chuba so they can use him and depend on him later in the season.
Well, I mean, he had 235 carries in 2024. It's not like this guy doesn't know volume. So I think they will start using him a lot more. We got a couple. I want to apologize to Evan in the chat. I missed this one earlier. I saw it. I put it up. I cleared it out. Didn't answer it. Back when we were talking about Trey Tucker. Speaking of mid-name Trey, what do we think of Trey Harris over with the Chargers right now, Lou? Superb dynasty stash? I say yes. This isn't going to be his year with this receiving core. But, I mean, realistically, Keenan Allen is probably his last productive season in the NFL. So, Trey Harris, superb dynasty stash?
I'm going to give a qualified yes, and I'm going to throw another name in here as well, in Keandre Lambert-Smith. They've both been kind of neck and neck throughout training camp and the preseason as far as who would be that other wide receiver on the field, along with Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey. And then obviously the Chargers signed Keenan Allen, and he took over. But we're kind of seeing, and we've seen who and what Keenan Allen is. Like, this is very much a last ride before the sun, he goes off into the sunset sort of deal. So I think if you have a way to get both Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith on your roster, so that way, whichever way they choose, you are correct. I think that's the way I'd like to go. But if you can only get one, I definitely think Trey Harris is worth a dynasty stash.
Yeah, I do too. I've got him stashed a whole bunch. So maybe I'm just saying that to make myself feel better about it. But yeah, I do. And I think
you're wrong.
Yeah, he was a day 2 pick. I mean, these guys tend to take time to develop. Quentin Johnston was a day 1 pick. And look, it took him 3 seasons to get here. On the same vein here, again, from Barely Fantasy, Mr. Evan, you can check Evan and I out tomorrow night on the Waiver Wire show in the middle of Monday Night Football. Of course, come over so we can help you set those waiver wire claims. 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Lou, how long does Ladd McConkey get held back here with the rise of Quentin Johnston and the return of Keenan Allen? I think we kind of partially answered this, knowing that this is Keenan Allen's basically farewell tour. But do you think it holds him down the rest of this season? Are we at a point where McConkey's probably not what we want him to be until the 2026 season?
I mean, I think that's probably fair to say, mostly because it's how the defenses are playing them. Like I've watched a lot of Chargers film so far this year, partly because Justin Herbert's just been an absolute joy to watch.
Yes.
But it's really it's a function of how this Chargers offense can work now that they have wide receivers aside from Ladd that they can trust to catch the ball. So Herbert can really be more of a distributor of the football to the open space, to the open guy. This is Keenan Allen now, who we know even if he doesn't have the speed that he once did, he's still got the hands. He's still got the slow but separation skills. Quentin Johnston, they're using him in ways that actually make sense for his skill set and limitations. They're not asking him to track these over-the-shoulder catches down the field and win these high-point balls, back shoulder type things, so that's great. And now we've got Omarion Hampton, who can do work out of the backfield in the receiving game, and the advent of Oronde Gadsden Jr., which that doesn't make me feel old at all, at tight end. All of a sudden, there's these pass-catching options all over the field. So once defenses start realizing that they can't just hyper-focus on Ladd, that they have to cover space, that's when Ladd is going to eat them alive, because dude destroys zone coverage. Not just finding the open space, but then yards after the catch as well. He is superb at it and always has been.
Yeah, I'm not worried. It's going to correct itself. This is a good offense. We're only 3 weeks in. We'll see what happens this week, but I'm not concerned. We got this one from Carly Manger. My friend asked me this one: Rashid Shaheed or Elick Aomanor this week. Which one are you going with, Lou?
I'm going with Aomanor. And again, they're both in the same tier for me. It's not great. If I have to have upside, I might go Shaheed, just because I think the Saints are going to have to be throwing the ball a lot today and are going to be behind a lot. And if there's the one thing that troubles the Bills defense in the passing game right now, it's a lot of speed. And we know he's got that in spades.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Shaheed a lot, but I'm going to start Aomanor. But if I need a boom, it's going to be Shaheed. Looking for that big play, that like 60-yard touchdown from Rattler. We've got Big Body Bry over on Twitch wants to know Hunter Henry or Tucker Kraft, Lou. I'm going Tucker Kraft. I've got him tight end 2. I've got Hunter Henry at tight end 6 this week. Where do you land on this one?
Yeah, the same. Both are really good options this week. In fact, if you are struggling with flex, I think Hunter Henry's a decent flex this week. But yeah, you're rolling out Tucker Kraft. You're feeling good about it. He's completely off the injury report, so he's fine. And this is a wet paper towel, soft Dallas defense. It's going to be a long day for Dallas, I'm afraid.
Well, and this is a division game, so this is a rivalry game. So you don't put on the brakes, right? Green Bay's hated Dallas for eternity. Ask any Green Bay fan how they feel about the Cowboys, and they'll start to throw up in their own mouth. So you don't put on the brakes here. They're going to score a ton of points. I love Tucker Kraft this week. I think he's a phenomenal play. We've got this one over on YouTube. This is Dylan Fink. Let's have a day indeed, Dylan. Full PPR, 2 different leagues. He needs to win. 1 flex, DeAndre Swift or Jawan Johnson, and then in the other league, a flex between Matthew Golden, DeAndre Swift, and Chase Brown. Let's start with the first one here. DeAndre Swift or Jawan Johnson in a flex. I'm leaning Jawan Johnson. Which direction are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm doing the same. He gets the consistent targets. There's no 2 ways about it. Again, the Saints, they're expected to be down. They're expected to be down a lot, especially later in the games. Buffalo will definitely start playing that more prevent style defense as opposed to attacking style that they favor early. I don't hate DeAndre Swift, but I feel better about Johnson.
Yeah, I don't hate DeAndre Swift. I just think Jawan Johnson has a higher ceiling. Now, on this other one here, 1 flex out of Matthew Golden, DeAndre Swift, and Chase Brown. Chase Brown is immediately out for me out of these 3. I'm between DeAndre Swift and Matthew Golden. I think I'm leaning Matthew Golden, Lou.
This really depends on what you need out of that spot. Like if you need a not 0, I'm going Chase Brown. I have Chase Brown and Swift in the same tier, with Chase Brown literally 2 spots ahead. So this is not like a strong recommend by any stretch of the imagination. But I do have Chase Brown a little higher. But if you need that upside, if you're like, I'm so behind because I was up against DK Metcalf and I don't even remember who was good from Thursday at this point, but like you're chasing those points. I understand rolling out Golden because again, that Cowboys defense is Downey soft.
Well, apparently, if you were up against Kenny Gainwell this week, it might also be a problem. He just ran about 10 yards, just short of a touchdown. They're in the red zone here, but Gainwell's the only back. So he's stacking up points. Did you see that coming?
Yes and no. I'm out here on the West Coast, so this is a nice early game for me. The crack at 6:30. Yay, Dublin. But I was up early enough to see the Jaylen Warren inactive. Got my rankings updated. I didn't see this coming. But this Minnesota defense got spooked by that DK Metcalf long touchdown and kind of just turtled themselves and stopped with the exotic pressures and everything and decided that they were gonna, capitulate to Aaron Rodgers yet again.
Yep. Well, we got our second Gainwell touchdown of the day just now, as the chat has wanted to let us know. Oh boy. All right, we've got another one here, Lou, from Jacob H. Pick 2, full PPR. Sutton, Cortland Sutton, Quentin Johnston, Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, or Jalen Waddle. Which two are you going with out of this group?
Let me see here. I'm going with Kamara and Sutton. I don't love Kamara's matchup with Buffalo. And that's mostly just due to he's looking older, man. He looks like a savvy veteran, and if he was on a better team, I think he would be doing fine, and he's just not. So I definitely have Sutton there, and then Kamara next. And I think if you don't feel Kamara or you feel similarly to me, Quentin Johnston is your pivot here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sutton and Johnston. I love Alvin Kamara. Don't love this offense, and I really just especially hate this matchup. And he's slowing down. He's getting older. You can see it. You can see time taking its toll. So I would go Sutton Johnston, but I can see an argument for Kamara just because he's Alvin Kamara, and that makes sense to me as well. We've got over on Twitch, Big Cheecher 1, London, Drake London, or Breece Hall this week. We're assuming in a flex, always going to assume PPR unless you tell us otherwise.
Yeah, I'm going Breece. That Miami defense is terribad. Yet another one. I don't dislike London this week. I do have them a little bit lower just because I've got some misgivings about that Atlanta offense in general, especially their refusal to hyper target Drake London in favor of Darnell Mooney.
Right.
I don't understand that. So roll Breece. But I don't think London is a bad play. But if these are the two options, I'm still going Breece.
Yeah, I've got Breece at RB10 because of the matchup. I'm 6 spots higher than consensus on him this week, so I'm absolutely going with Breece here. We've got Barely Fantasy wants to know, will Kenneth Gainwell continue to gain well rest of season? Evan,
go face the corner.
Evan, go face the corner. It's all we can do for you, buddy. But I'm giggling. So Jacob H wants. It is early on Sunday. Jacob H wants to know, Lou, Justin Fields or Jordan Love at QB this morning?
Yeah, I've got Love higher. Again, I'm targeting that Cowboys defense as much as I can. I do not trust Fields week to week. He's going to kind of live in that Kyler Murray range for me, in that he's typically going to be outside of the QB1 range, outside of injuries and buys taking their toll, which buys are coming, y'all. So yeah, give me Love this week.
Yep, I've got Love considerably higher. I am a known Justin Fields stan, but I can't. I've got Love's just the better quarterback at this point. Tron Force, I have both DK 22 points and Gainwell 24 points this morning. Yeah, that's a big freaking woohoo. I've got DK in some DFS lineups that's making me very happy this morning. It was a nice thing to kind of wake up and step into at 7:30 this morning. Barely Fantasy saying, got him. You did. You got us. And we'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah,
we've got another one here.
That one earlier.
I know. We've got this one coming on Twitch here. Would you rather have Chase Brown or Chuba Hubbard in Dynasty long term? This is a contending team. Look, if Cincy's line gets better, I like Chase Brown a lot more.
That's a huge if, though, man.
That's the problem. So it's a huge if. I don't see really them supplanting Hubbard over the next couple of seasons, so I'd probably say I want Chuba Hubbard long term.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Chase Brown. He really needed Joe Burrow and this offensive line to be functional this year, and neither of those ones are happening. No, neither of those things are happening for him this year. Hubbard, he got that decent contract there in Carolina. They clearly like him there. He is the heartbeat of that team. They follow him. He's a leader, which is kind of an indictment of Young out there, but that's a whole separate conversation. So yeah, if these are the two options, give me Hubbard in Dynasty. I'd like him to rest the season a little bit, at least a little bit more. And going forward, I just feel more confident in a role next year and beyond.
Yeah, it's the same. I like Chuba. Shout out to Lindellians for getting me on the Chuba train a little bit earlier than most. We've got this one, Jacob H. over on YouTube. Pick one, flex, full PPR, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall, Chase Brown. Who are you going with here? I think for me, it's going to be Pearsall.
I'm in the same boat. I do love me some Pretty Ricky. Brock Purdy's back, going to be slinging the rock today. And as decent as Mac Jones has been for him, Brock Purdy's better. He understands the way the offense needs to work inside and out. He has that anticipation that is rare, even if his arm strength is not. Mm-hmm. And just Olave and Brown, I need to see it from them before I feel good about starting them over someone like a Pearsall.
Well, and like Olave's seeing a ton of targets, but they're not necessarily all quality targets. 13 targets, 7 catches week 1, 10 targets, 6 catches week 2, 10 catches on 14 last week, but he still hasn't even gotten over 60 yards receiving, and he doesn't have a touchdowns. Stuff. It's all short stuff. And like we saw with Wan'Dale Robinson, like, yeah, those catches add up in PPR, but you're not getting anything else out of him. And if he has a bad week where he only has 3 catches, you're screwed. Which is not an indictment on Chris Olave. Like we said, it's an indictment on this whole New Orleans offense. We've got this one from Barely Fantasy. If the Bengals have to lean on Chase Brown in the passing game, then is he still cooked rest of season?
No.
Not
a PPR right? At least.
Yeah, no, at that point he's fine. I don't know that that's realistic, but yeah, if that did happen.
And Evan and I were talking about this a little bit earlier this morning, and that that Cincinnati offensive line is so bad that I think that they would do well to kind of abandon a traditional run game for the most part and really focus more on the screen game, getting him outside, almost in like the wide receiver screen type deals, to kind of be a reasonable facsimile of a running game, if you will.
Sure.
And so in that sort of situation, yes, I think he would be at least reasonably viable, especially in a PPR league.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I don't know, man.
It's tough to feel good about him.
It is. It's really tough. We've got Wandier on YouTube. This is a 2-parter here. Henderson or Worthy, Trevion Henderson or Xavier Worthy. Which one are you flexing?
I'm going with Henderson just because I don't like playing guys week 1 after they come back from injury or suspension. I don't feel great about either of these, so I get why this is a question. And yeah, I'm going with Henderson and just hoping that the New England coaching staff, finds whatever's left of their minds and goes with the best running back they have, the best offensive weapon they have.
I don't have high hopes. I've been talking about this all week. It's Josh McDaniels, but I'm still going to go Henderson over Worthy. Henderson or DeAndre Swift, Lou?
I have Henderson a little higher. They're in the same tier. I don't trust the Chicago running game. As much as I don't trust the New England coaches either. Josh McDaniels, Mike Vrabel, I don't trust them. I don't trust that Chicago's running game can perform even against Las Vegas. And I mean, New England does have Carolina as an opponent. That's a super soft rushing defense. I'm going Henderson. I don't feel great about it. So like if your gut tells you one way or the other, or you're a Bears fan, you want to root for your guy, go with Swift. I have no problem with it. And I'm still rolling out Henderson and hoping and praying and wishing.
Yeah, I'm with you again. Henderson, I don't trust that run game. We've got this from Jacob over on Twitch, Lou. Half PPR, 2 flex spots, can be a tight end. This is a 12-team league. Caleb Williams, Jaunty, Tony Pollard, Romo Dunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Juwan Johnson, Emeka Egbuka, Matthew Golden, Packers kicker, Packers defense. His bench is May Ridley, Downs, Tootin, Bill JCM, CeeDee Lamb in the IR spot. All right, so recently traded Bowers and Chase Brown to get Egbuka and Jaunty on this team. What do you think about this roster?
I mean, this is a super solid roster. Moving off Brock Bowers hurts, but I see the vision with getting Genty back. He obviously has not performed so far this season, and if he had, you wouldn't be able to get Genty plus giving up Brock Bowers, who himself hasn't performed. But having Juwan Johnson in hand to be able to make this kind of deal, this is exactly why you want to be on top of the waiver wire early in the season.
Yep.
I don't know if you're an Optimus fan and been following us. If you have, we were on Juwan Johnson from the hop. Evan has been great with the tight ends all year. And that was a strong recommendation. So well done there. I do love Egbuka. Getting out of Chase Brown feels great right now, even for another underperforming back. I don't see a whole lot of bad to this outside of I like Pollard well enough, but you need something else good to happen at running back for this to be a championship level roster.
I don't hate Tony Pollard, and I've been very clear about this. I just don't think I don't know. We got really excited about him in Dallas that one season when he was behind Zeke Elliott and he was like RB7. And that was great, but he needs an and. He doesn't have his and in Tyjae Spears this year. I mean, the volume's there. I would make a move to maybe try and get another running back, but yes. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be all right. We've got Jacob H here, Lou. Bills DST versus the Saints or Texans DST versus the Titans? Which one are you rolling out today?
I'm rolling out the Texans. It's I know the Saints offense is bad. The Bills defense is good against bad offenses. See also how they performed against the Jets. But I mean the Texans DST, this just has this looks ugly for Tennessee's offense this week. Real ugly.
It looks very, very ugly. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Texans DST here. Last one here, and then we are going to get everyone on their way, get those lineups set some DFS
we got one
lineups.
More too.
We got one more. Yep, we got this one right here. Yep, we're getting to it. Modify season, 2 questions. Do you think the offensive line for Cincinnati gets better? And do you think the Bengals stick with Chase Brown long term? Thanks for your help. What do you think?
It's tough to think that Cincinnati's offensive line will get better this year because they're not missing anyone. There's no injured starter who would be coming back that would be riding in on the cavalry. We can hope that they gel a bit better as the season goes along. I think it's Amarius Mims, is it? That was their high draft pick last year. I really liked him coming out. Super physically talented. It doesn't look like they have an offensive line coach there. The same mistakes keep happening week after week. Guys getting blown up. Chase Brown getting hit 2, 3, 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on every single run, even ones right up the middle. You just can't have that. So I have a hard time thinking they'll be better this year. As far as will Chase Brown be the guy going forward, I do think so. I like Taj Brooks. But Cincinnati really, really likes Chase Brown. He has been all that the coaching staff and players have talked about all offseason. And looking at, even though Chase Brown hasn't performed on the stat sheet, looking at how he's performed versus how he's been expected to perform based on the disaster that is the Cincinnati offensive line, he's done really well. He's the only running back to have gotten a rushing touchdown on the Cleveland defense this year, for instance. So no and to the first part and yes to the second.
Yeah, I don't expect the line to get any better. But Chase Brown long term, this is a team that feels like they're sold on him. everything that you said. I don't really have anything to add here. TS, I'm sorry we did not get to your question, but we're going to get to it right now. I don't know how I missed it in that mess of a live chat here. David Montgomery or Devonta Smith today in PPR, Lou? Which one are you going with?
I'm rolling out Devonta Smith, mostly because I understand Detroit says their running game is different. That Cleveland defense is scary. I'm not playing Montgomery unless I have to. I think Devonta Smith is good enough that I don't have to.
I completely agree. You don't have to, and I am definitely going with Devonta Smith here. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the option if you're going to play a running back in this Detroit backfield. I'm scared off of David Montgomery this week, so I'm completely with you here. We've got T.Y. Rocky who wants to know Chris Godwin or Tet McMillan. Would probably lean Tet McMillan. We talked about it a little bit earlier here. I get scared off these players first week back. And this is specifically and especially a kind of a scary one with Chris Godwin coming off of a really, really brutal knee injury. It makes me nervous.
Against Philadelphia, no less.
Against Philadelphia, no less. Yeah, I want nothing to do with it. Well. All right. We agree here. We've got DP Firefighter 1526 wants to know who he should start in PPR. CJ Stroud, Danny Dimes, Matthew Stafford, or Jared Goff. Which way are you going here, Lou?
I got Danny Dimes. Let's go with Indiana Jones, which is the stupidest nickname, but whatever. It works because of reasons.
Look, it gave me something fun to write in our higher lower article this week, so I'll take it here. Note from the game from Barely Fantasy, DK Metcalf is currently sitting at 4 catches on 4 targets for 122 yards and a touchdown. Lou, is it time to start taking DK more seriously in PPR leagues?
I don't think specifically PPR leagues. I think it's time to take him seriously regardless of league format, scoring format, because, I mean, he is getting enough production. He's getting enough looks. Like, he's so clearly the primary target. And as much as we rightfully hate Arthur Smith for who he is and what he does to offenses, DK Metcalf is kind of benefiting more from how he's being used in Pittsburgh versus how he was used for a lot of his career in Seattle.
Yeah. Here's another one. We've got Rob Bob Ultra 86 on Twitch. Bo Nix or Caleb Williams today?
Yeah, Caleb Williams is the answer a lot more weeks than not the rest of the season. Like, this is a top 3 quarterback for fantasy. The scary part is there's still meat left on the bone. That's reasonable to expect him and Ben Johnson and this offense to start getting as the season goes along as well. Like, Caleb Williams is your QB1 and roll him outside of like a Green Bay passing matchup. And you've got Bo Nix against, I don't know, Tennessee or something.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, we talked about it earlier in the week. He's a top 5 quarterback for me. Rest of season, long term, I want him in Dynasty. I think he's a top 5 to 8 quarterback in Dynasty as well. We've got Calvo on YouTube. This is what my season has come to. Welcome to the club, buddy. Pick one here. We've got Rico Dowdle, Chris Rodriguez, RJ Harvey, and Ollie Gordon. Which one are you going with out of this group of ragtag running backs?
Yeah, I love it. Let's take down the Death Star with these guys. That seems about like what we're trying to do here. Give me Chris Rodriguez. Washington, I hate their backfield, but they seem to want to get all these guys a decent amount of touches, and Rodriguez is the best fit for goal line carries. So, like, give me Rodriguez and a handful of carries and a cross your fingers touchdown.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Rodriguez. I could be talked into RJ Harvey, but I still don't fully trust him in the Sean Payton offense and J.K. Dobbins and to beat a dead horse. But yes, Chris Rodriguez for me as well, Lou. We've got Keenan Larkin on YouTube. Start the Carolina defense or the Falcons defense this weekend. This is an interesting one to actually be considering. I think I'm going to go Carolina against New England just because of the turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love either. I will fully admit I don't look much at defenses. I'm saying Atlanta because they've got a decent pass rush. But yeah, I don't feel great about either one, but I'm saying Atlanta just because I got to say one, honestly.
You got to pick one. Yeah, it's true. Injury update on the game right now. Calvin Austin just headed to the locker room. That stinks, but hopefully you didn't start Calvin Austin. I didn't, at least. Jacob forgot, take a look at my bench again. Who do you drop on this crew when CeeDee Lamb comes back? Drake May, Calvin Ridley, Josh Downs, Bashal Tootin, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Who are you dropping when CeeDee Lamb comes back, Lou? I think for me, it's probably Calvin Ridley.
I'm between May and Downs. Like, he's got Caleb Williams as his starting quarterback. Outside of bye week, you're not starting May over Williams ever. I would kind of prefer to see if I can package May and a Ridley or a Downs, to see if you can get something again that some running back depth maybe, especially as we get into the bye weeks here. People start feeling that pinch of rosters and they don't have all the guys that they want. So I would try to do something like that. If I'm dropping someone from that, though, I'm between May and Downs. I understand Ridley, but it's kind of 6 of 1.
Yeah. I mean, the more as I listen to you talk about it and the more I think about this too, I think for me, it's actually probably I'm shifting to Josh Downs. Just he's useless in that offense. Right. Yeah. We've got Barely Fantasy, who's trying very hard to keep us from our second cup of coffee this morning. He wants to know, will the Commanders ever move away from their frustrating running back by committee to make Krosky Merritt shareholders happy? I'm going to say highly unlikely if I'm shaking the magic 8 ball.
Yeah, not in 2025. I don't think so. Like, maybe there are weeks where it works out that way because of game script, hot hand, that sort of thing. But I don't think any of these running backs are unique enough in what they do to separate themselves out from the others, to take meaningful carries away. And it's unfortunately going to not work out the best for Bill.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's fun, and we love his name. Yeah. Say it like 5 times. Bill. It's great. But yeah, no, you're 100% correct. Oh. All right, guys. Well, if you're catching the very end of this here, or if you're watching us on replay trying to set those lineups ahead of 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can also head on over to our Discord server. We've got waiver wire advice, dynasty discussions, best NFL bets, DFS advice to get those lineups set here in the next hour. Lots more. Start, sit. Lou's going to be there this morning answering all those questions. Link is in the show description. And as you're trying to set those lineups, head over to tools.optimusfantasy.com. Unlock your fantasy advantage. We have 19 years of historical data driving all of our tools. Make sure you check it out. 35% off your first 3 months with the promo code BIPOCALYPSE. Get ready for the Bipocalypse. It's coming. And those bye weeks can be absolutely freaking brutal. So, we can help. We can help.
We got you.
Guys. We got you. Head on over to tools.optimusfantasy.com. Again, that promo code is Bipocalypse. It's up at the top of the screen. Lou, it's been a wonderful Sunday morning. We love helping all you people out. It's been a blast. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you're still here, please like this video, subscribe to the Optimus Fantasy channel, head over to our Discord, join in on the fun. Check out optimusfantasy.com. We have content coming out all week, and we have tons and tons of video content for you as well. So make sure you are setting those notifications and checking us out. For Lou Brunson, I am Nate Polvogt. Guys, good luck this Sunday. Go set those winning lineups, and we'll see